Whoever joined, welcome to the stream. What the hell? This shit trash. Bro, if I don't hit like 200 subscribers next week, I'm gonna lose it. It's the shitty ass fucking YouTube algorithm putting our videos where they're not supposed to be. That was good chat. Trying to hit 200. I don't even. Hold on. Can I put my thing? Yeah, I can. I did not know I could do this. Hold up. Hi, Melissa Plasters. Hi, Connor. Riley. I don't know how to say your name, but make sure you guys like the stream and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never forget another video. What I'm doing today, I'm kind of just streaming until I hit 200 or until I can hit a certain number, and then I'll probably stop streaming. But for now, we're really just, just chilling and talking and trying to hit the goal. So if you guys want to talk about something with me, curious about video production or anything of the sorts, just talk to me if you want. You subscribe. Thank you, Melissa Plasters. Thank you. Thank you, Melissa. This is my first time doing PNG tuber thingies like this is my first time doing it, so I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's bad, but if you guys want to tell me, that would be all right. That'd be great, actually. We have 16 people. Can we keep the stream likes coming up, please? We got 2 likes. Like goal is 5. So let me actually put that here. Give me 1 second. What the fuck? I'm clicking the wrong thing. It looks good. Thank you. Hi, Connor. Connor. I don't know how to say your name. Connor. I'm just gonna call you Connor. Hi, Connor. But yeah, if you guys want to like click off the stream and check out my videos, you can. Be greatly appreciated. Just yeah, like the stream and subscribe and click the notification bell so you never forget or miss anything. But let me do this real quick because it seems like it just doesn't want to let me do this thing I'm trying to do right now. Like, do you guys see the 200 subs thingy? Do you guys see that? Because if you guys can see that, then I don't know why. Yeah, because, oh, hi, Wind, sir. Can I just call you Wind? I'll call you Wind. Yeah, like, I can see it, but the thing I'm trying to do is add another thing. It's not letting me. I'm looking at this and I subscribe to your channel. Thank you. I'm looking at this and it's just not letting me do anything. Hold on. I gotta hide this. I'll put it like right here. And then click on this again, show the chat. And now I can see it. I can see it. Yeah, but any topic. Like I said, we can talk about literally fucking anything. Thank you for reassuring me. Wynn did it too, but thank you though. Oh, we could do like a little item thingy. We can do a little item thingy. I feel like that'd just be kind of trash. I mean, we can do the mic, but because like I can do the mic thingy, but I can't like this little thing right here. Yeah. Like that right there. This right here is something I can get by. This right here is something I could get by. Oh yeah, hold on, wait. So now I found it. Now I can do this thing now. So another text, and then text here and right here, and then like goal 5 to 10. Done. Add it. Looks fucking great. So as you guys can see, you can see the like goal 5 to 10 and sub goal 200. So but yeah, like I said, subscribe and like, thank you. Yeah, but like I said, we could talk about literally anything, like video production, what kind of videos you guys want to see. It could be gaming videos, something like kind of like this, but not live. Jesus is King. Hello. Hello, Jesus is King. Yeah, that's basically what we're doing. I'm gonna need a lot of you guys to like, because the more likes, the more viewers I get. I mean, I'm not worrying about any of that. Like, I'm not like one of those like YouTubers where like, oh yeah, I want all the shit to come through. No, bro, I just want people to watch me, because I worked hard to get where I got, and a lot of people don't really get this far on YouTube, because YouTube is kind of one of the shittiest platforms to post videos on, unless you're like fucking known or some shit. No. Hold on, what is going on? What's I'm trying to never mind. Never fucking mind. What do I even want to do right now? Because like if I add some gaming things, like I have to turn on my but I don't have any batteries to my thingies. So when will you have a video? Like tomorrow or something? I don't know when. See, that's like I think I have a video schedule like sorted out. But since I'm adding like new things that could be used as something similar to what I already do, like voice acting and shit, I can most likely post tomorrow or the next day. Yeah, most definitely, since it is the weekend. I have no choice. Since I have all this time on my hands. I have a couple hours of time on my hands after school, like probably like 10. So I'll stream for like as long as I could go, and then once I get to that limit, I'll just stop streaming for a few. But yeah, whoever's in here, can you guys like send the stream to people, send my channel to people, recommend me to people, tell them what I do, like voice acting and shit, and etc, etc. And then if they think the channel is good, they can subscribe. Don't force anyone. If you do, send them this, send them the shit. Like just now? Like you just sent it? Oh, thank you. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of people. Well, to my standard, yeah. Oh yeah, I have a Discord server, by the way. So if you have Discord or something, you can join. Yeah, it's okay. Like I said, you can send it to as many people as you want. You can tell as many people as you want. I don't really mind. So I've been seeing a lot of people. Like, if you don't know what brain rot is essentially just shit that like brainwashes little kids into doing dumb shit or into saying dumb shit, or just in general, it's dumb shit. And like I've been seeing a lot of people stream it. Like for example, Roblox Still a Brain Rot. They're streaming it while playing a song that has like literally no meaning to it. And then it gets like thousands of viewers, and that's just, I don't know, that's not like cool. I personally don't think it's cool. I think it's you and me. Yeah, it is. It is me and you. By the way, I'm not telling you to stay here with me, because there will be other people that will come in for sure. It's just, it takes a little bit to wait for them. Yeah, it's so fucking dumb. Because you have the actual people that's been like working hard for like their fucking channel, and then you have other people who just like love to do brain rot shit. They just love to post shit about that, and they get millions of views. Like, it has no lore. Even the AI videos have no lore. It's so buns. The kids, I give them the benefit of the doubt because they're fucking kids. I mean, they can't think for themselves a lot of the times. So, I mean, brain rot is essentially one of the things that could make them fucking retarded. Another thing I hate is when people like, they like come into the stream, right? And they don't say jack shit. It's just, I don't know. Senpai Zay. Hi, Senpai. Hi, Senpai Zay. I was just thinking about it, and then I started watching you, and I enjoy being here. Thank you. I like when you said I enjoy being here. That's that helps me a lot, actually, to think positive, because sometimes I can't think positive. Main reason why is because like people love to say some dumb shit about my channel, and then like I get hurt about it. Hello, Senpai Zay. Like I'm gonna say this again for the people who are in the stream, for the people who aren't, or whatever the fuck. You guys can see a sub goal and a like goal. Just like subscribe and like. If you guys want to, just subscribe and like. By the way, literally, I'm not on PC, OBS, or anything. I'm literally just on a phone doing this. I'm literally just doing this on the phone. Whoever just liked, by the way, thank you. That's 4 likes. But yeah, I'm literally just using an app. Thank you. Yeah, but I literally just did an app. I downloaded the app on my phone, and I went to a website, made my own PNG, eyes closed, with the mouth open, eyes closed with no mouth open, eyes open with the mouth open, eyes open with the mouth closed. Like, you have to have specific layers, and then because that website, you don't even have to draw anything for it. But yeah, like, technically I did work a little hard to make this PNG, because it's very hard to find shit that does this. But I wouldn't say I made it, like fully made it. I didn't make the concept of this art. I just made the hair, the skin color, and the fucking shirt, and the customization. But yeah, thank you. I am a good person. I feel like people, because I'm a good person, but like genuinely, when I get pissed off, it's like, it's not funny anymore. Like, genuine, like, I don't know. It's just, people like to take your like chillness to a certain extent, how far you can go, and then you just start being the meanest person, and then somehow people find you as the bad guy when you are. It just kind of pisses me off. Yeah. Like, bro, I've been working so hard. There was this one time where, yeah, I game, but like, I'm just trying to find a way to actually squeeze in the game to the stream. So it probably won't happen today, but if it happens tomorrow, probably. It's just I need batteries for my controller thingy so I could get on my game. That's what I'm like saying. This would be better on PC though. Yeah, I game. I play shit and whatnot. Yo, also Senpai, if you want to recommend other people to me, you can. It's like how Alyssa did it. Other people from other people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, thank you. My heart's a stereo. So listen close. And you guys can ask me questions too, like I said at the start of the stream. So if you guys want to do that, you can. It's okay if they aren't coming. It can come next stream or anything like that. Doesn't matter. Or whenever they want to come. Yeah, but yeah, I don't really care when they come, as long as they come. I'm not sure how many subscribers I have right now because if I like leave the app in a post, uh, like on your YouTube channel, oh my god, bro. Play mobile and PS4 at the moment. I was a YouTuber, but so many people are. They are so mentally ill for what they say. Yeah. Delta Force and yeah, those are some good ass games. I don't have Delta Force, but I do have COD. I don't have COD Mobile, but I have Cold War on my Xbox. I have Fortnite, which I don't play. Shit fell off. Roblox, GTA, but I gotta download it back. I forgot. I forgot the other games. I don't even. Yeah, I forgot the other games. It should be Clash Royale too, and then another game, but I'm very confused, bro. But we're like literally one like away from like five likes. We need to hit that. Praise the Lord. Yeah, that was a good ass song. Anyways. What the fuck? Oh. What the fuck is this? Hold on. What is this, bro? Why do I have this? Like like I forgot I had this photo in my phone, bro. I forgot I had this shit. I gotta delete that. Yeah, I forgot I had that, bro.
I am so excited, I think I'm gonna explode!
What the fuck? Wait. What the fuck? Oh, hell nah, bro. Bro, I keep on forgetting I have these, like, I keep on forgetting I have these videos. But yeah, look. Do I have some music? Oh, I do. Let me pause this. Wait, so that comes from my mic. Yo, chat. Yo, chat. So, chat. That that comes from my mic, right? Cause hold on, if that comes from my mic, can I like play that shit while I'm muted? Hold on. I'm not sure if, like, I don't know if that audio works. Like, I genuinely don't know if that audio works on my mic only. Hold on. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yo, can you guys hear me? Yo, Melissa, can you hear me? Like, is my thing working right now? What the fuck?